What is up, everybody? We are just getting started, but we're waiting for our special guest. So while I'm doing that, let's go ahead and do kind of like a check to see if the microphone is working okay, if there's an echo, if there's delay with the video, just let me know. And as people are coming in, let's just talk about how this week has been with COVID. Yep, it's me. Hi, I'm that problem. It took roughly 3 years to get it, so at least it I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like you're the last kid at dodgeball, and, like, every single kid has a dodgeball on the other side. I feel like COVID is insanely different for each person, even me and my wife, the completely different symptoms, completely different reactions to a lot of stuff. Hers was way more throat centric and just coughing and like congestion. For me, it's been a lot more like just sweaty chills, like brain fog. I'm gonna have that probably through this entire episode, and we both have been slowly getting better uh, throughout this week. It's been one step at a time, and I'm pretty well set to go for the Sundance this week. So thank goodness um, for modern medicine. Make sure that you're vaccinated, make sure all of that stuff, because yeah, it's no joke. And it's weird. There's just so many weird stuff about this, like garlic for some reason just sears my nostrils if I sniff any garlic. But as far as taste goes, I can, have soup and anything with garlic and it still, tastes fine. Man, we are almost about to get him in. Oh my goodness, I see video. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the show in 5, 4, 3.
It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, the number one for news. It's Patrick Beatty Reviews, number one for news. Yeah. Tune in, get up. Yeah, what's up?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Hey, what's up, Chaz?
Hi,
How
buddy.
are you?
Good. How are you feeling, man?
Well, we just spent the whole time talking about it.
Oh,
But to sum it up, getting better. How about you? How are you feeling?
good, man. I don't have the sickness like you do, but
Hey, at this point, I don't either. I can walk into places with a mask, and y'all just have to deal with me being in there. The doctor says if anybody gives me crap, I'll be like, the doctor said I'm allowed to be in here.
no, that's good.
Especially weird. I was talking just before about how Sundance is happening this week. Is there an echo at all on my audio?
Just a small bit.
There's an echo. Let's see. How can I get rid of that? If I do this, does that get rid of the echo?
Yeah.
Completely?
For the
Darn
most
it.
part, yeah.
Only problem is I can't hear my sound effects.
That no.
But everybody else can at
No,
least.
no, no.
At least everybody else can.
Ooh, that's some good.
That's what I was thinking when it was COVID time. But no, it's weird, dude. It's me. I'm the problem. I got it before you. And we can talk about that for a very long time about how me and you spent the whole pandemic being like, don't get it. We're just going to do podcasts. And look what happened. We stopped doing Gaggle Geeks and I get COVID. So this is your fault when you think about it. And,
I mean, I had COVID back in June, but
How do you get a job here, face?
you did have it? I didn't know you had it.
yeah, dude. I got COVID right after a family member's wedding, and then as I got COVID, another family member passed away. So it was like
Wow.
a month of chaos.
Wait, no, was this the same time that you had sent a message to me to get tested? Was that time?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know you actually had it. I thought you
Yeah, dude, I had it because like the week before that, I got in a car accident too. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, which one? You're accident prone a little, Chaz, which is again funny. Let's tell people where to follow you first before we dig into everything. At your boy Chaz A. He's doing all the things, guys. He's writing scripts, he's working on projects, and there's probably a lot that we're going to talk about this episode because we have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Just on friendship in general, though. Like it's like RRR, except the middle was cut out, and like we haven't been hanging out that much. So let's flip this over. Let's go. Speaking of RRR, to the Critics' Choice Association and the Critics' Choice Awards. Can I tell you how much FOMO I had this week?
Yeah.
It broke me in a lot of COVID broke me in more ways than one. But Jamie Lee Curtis saved me, and I'll explain more into that. But the Critics' Choice Awards happened this yesterday, literally, and we got a lot of great wins. This is the first year that I've been a part of the Critics' Choice Association and have been able to vote and nominate, and it's insane to think about that. That like my input went towards decisions that were like actual serious decisions. It's like, why would you give me any type of leeway into that? I'm just going to vote for Daniel Radcliffe, and he won, which made me so happy.
I saw that and I was like, Patrick's probably happy.
Over the moon, but so incredibly jealous that I wasn't there to celebrate it with them. That would have been one of the coolest things ever. But
were you invited to it?
oh yeah, you're always invited to all of these things. I can talk about it a little bit. I think people are curious about this kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
But first I want to start by saying, like, it's gonna sound braggy, all right? It's gonna sound like white guy here is just bragging about all the stuff he gets. And yeah, it's true. So what? That's gonna be what happens in this. It's a cool association, dude. There's so many cool people in it, and that's the main takeaway that I think with all these associations is just like how cool the members are and how much fun it is to like interact with them, to hang out with them, and how kind they are. The experiences are secondary, but the experiences are definitely up there as well. For example, the two things that I did this year with Critics' Choice, and people have probably seen these with videos, going to the Glass Onion premiere and going to the Museum of Modern Art for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio exhibit. Both those are just like, you can't, they're once in a lifetime opportunities. And even if I get an opportunity like those again, they'll never feel as good as what that first like thing was. So I'm going to remember this year for forever. And I'll remember that I basically, when I finished New York, I was like, I can't do any more of these because I'm exhausted. First of all, I never travel. So it was just travel for 2 months straight. And then after that, I just was like, we just bought a house. I have no money for anything. There's not, yeah, we couldn't swing it. But at the same time, I got COVID the same week. So after I'd gotten COVID, it was kind of like, well, what can you do? It's not really that big a deal. But then a guardian angel saved my self-esteem and made me feel like maybe I wasn't alone. And it's probably not nice to be like, and thank goodness she had this, because then I didn't feel like that. But Jamie Lee Curtis got COVID at the same time.
She did,
And
yeah.
me, I don't know. There's something about her. Watching did you watch the Actors on Actors with Colin Farrell and Jamie Lee Curtis?
No, well, I watched a part of it, and he was Colin Farrell's really genuine. That's what I got from it.
Sweetheart. And so was she. So seeing them together, like talking, like going back and forth, there's probably so much dopamine and optimism in the room that like
yeah. Well, I think he made her cry at one point, right?
Well, he was showing her music that he was listening to that inspired him for his character in Banshees.
Yeah.
She talked about kindness with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
It just worked really well. And so I don't know, seeing her so much in this, and seeing how big of a supporter she was of Michelle Yeoh for the Golden Globes. We can talk a little bit about that too. That picture is iconic and will forever be from this year's award season one of the top parts. It just, I don't know. I felt like it was like, well, if the biggest people, the biggest stars of the night can't make it because they're working on something, but they're still just having fun and doing their thing, I can feel that way too. And then I fell asleep and I missed the award show.
Did you miss the whole thing?
I missed the whole thing, man. But that's COVID for you, right?
Yeah. Well, it was on at the same time as another show, so that's why I didn't watch it. But I was following the news on Twitter, like all the winners.
So and not only that, like I don't mean to. I'm not gonna name anything about like the network that was hosting this, but it was my network. It was Nexstar and they don't have an avenue for me to be able to watch it. I was looking everywhere. DirecTV didn't have it. The CW didn't have it. I was trying to find it. It all came through like 3 different apps that were pay-per-view, or like you had to pay for a bundle, or like a streaming bundle.
Yeah.
So I was kind of disappointed with that. I was hoping that it would be a little easier to access it. So nothing to do with the production or the things. Like I can't say too much about it because I didn't see it. But let's we're in 2022, people. We could probably 23 now.
Yeah, because sir.
That's COVID brain, man. There's going to be a lot of COVID brain stuff. It's 1996, people. We can start up our Netscape, can't we? We can figure this out.
Dial up, baby.
Dial up. But let's talk about some of the winners and what happened with this. So, Best Picture, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It took it, and we've kind of danced around this, Chaz. I know your thoughts, and here's the thing: fortune favors the bold. And if you have a bold, genuine take on why you don't think Everything Everywhere All at Once deserves this, I'd like to hear it.
Let me start out by saying I'm glad people enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It just did not work out for me, and a lot of my issues are with the second act, like the whole middle of the movie. So like if you cut that out and you just had the first act and the third act, you have the whole movie's meaning. But again, everything gets lost in translation.
I love how you're talking to me like you're talking down a jumper. Everything ever. So you have a problem with the pacing or just the story?
Just the story, dude, because like the first part was really good, right? I mean, I like the seriousness that the first act and the third act had. And like the third act almost got me to tears because I'm like, oh my God, this is like the message it was trying to convey the entire time. But all that is thrown away in that whole middle part of the movie. The middle part of the movie is just trying to be fun and funny. And I think for me, it did not land for half the stuff that, people thought was funny. But if people are entertained by it, then that's fine. Like, I think that's good. And congrats to all the people involved. Like, I'm glad that the fact that it won editing, I'm like, that's actually, I think, well deserved, because I think the whole montage, in that movie.
Well, and you can't forget Ke Huy Quan.
No, yeah, and like his supporting actor, and his speeches have been really inspirational, and so I think it's cool that it's getting recognition. I just don't think it's Best Picture worthy, in my opinion. But
fascinating. You see, you're not the only person that has said this, but when we're in the age of Twitter, you always think that half of it's clout chasing, or just to be a contrarian because the masses have said how much they adore this film. One person has to be that one rotten tomato.
Yeah. I watched it twice. I bought it on a whim on digital, and I watched it twice, and I thought like maybe the second time would I'd catch on more stuff I probably missed in the first. And I
So you bought it?
I bought it. I have it. Yeah.
You didn't rent it?
No.
You see, now that's fascinating to me because if you didn't enjoy the film, why buy it? You could. Just
I bought it initially. I blind bought it.
Is it I would have given you if it was like one of those digital releases and they weren't going to let it out.
It was when it first got released digital, when you could only buy it.
Yeah, because that's what I did immediately. But it wasn't. Oh, felt cute. Might watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was what's my last amount of money I have in my checking account? Put it towards this.
No, it was like a blind purchase. It was kind of like the Nicolas Cage movie, the Massive Talent.
Yeah, I blind
bought that too. Movie. I didn't rent that. I did blind bought that. I just like blind. I just like blind buying movies. That way, I'm like, well, I could rewatch it always down the line.
Right. Well, and I think the staying power for Everything Everywhere All at Once, it does have a lot of rewatchability to it because so many things is happening at the same time. So I think it was a great win. I think it's a deserved win, but we can move over. Let me ask you this. Who would you have wanted of this list? Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Banshees, Elvis, Fabelmans, Glass Onion, RRR, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, or Women Talking?
It would probably be Banshees or Top Gun.
You see, Banshees and everything is just like neck and neck for me with pretty much every single category. I was really happy though the RRR got in there, and we'll talk more about RRR. But let's push on Best Actor Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Did you watch The Whale?
I have not watched it yet. That's on my watch list. I like Darren Aronofsky films. I know this one's. Have you seen it yet?
Oh yeah, yep. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty dark and depressing. So when I get the opportunity to watch it, I'm going to make sure I'm in the right mindset to watch it. But
and that's what was beautiful about this win particularly is Brendan Fraser has been in the dark as well. His speech was just so moving. Again, if you're wondering, how did he watch it? I was watching the clips afterward. just beautiful man that really earned this and worked for it. And I'm so glad that he's back. It was so cool seeing images of him and Michelle Yeoh because they worked together on The Mummy 3.
Yeah.
So seeing them together, him just like getting embraced by her, just warmed my heart. There's so many moments in this year's award season that just are heartwarming to me. But there was a lot of other great people. Austin Butler was up for running. He won the Golden Globes, and Colin Farrell, of course, was incredible in his. And Bill Nye doesn't get a lot about living, but I will say Bill Nye was incredible. It just happened so early. It happened in Sundance last year, and that's why maybe it just lost some of its movement towards the end. Too many films come out later. It's tough to decide on that.
Honest.
It's tough. But Best Actress, Cate Blanchett won for Tar, and a very deserved win. I had no problems with that at all. Michelle Yeoh won for Golden Globes, but I think Cate Blanchett definitely deserves this. When it comes to the Oscar season, though, who do you have between the two?
Probably Cate Blanchett. Interesting.
Because I can't say no, and I have it like really when you look at like what is the definition of Best Actress? You know, is it standing out above an ensemble? Is it carrying a film completely? Is it just depending on if the story's focus? Like, does that depend on what really matters with it? Because Tar is solely about her. Like, it is that if you take Cate Blanchett out of it, the whole film crumbles. It's impossible to make, and her performance is central to it. But the same can be said for Michelle Yeoh's character in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Both centerpiece performances that definitely deserve to win. I don't know who to pick anymore. They both won, so it's like, can we both just be happy? You know, everybody got it.
I want to say just how the Academy's voted in the past. Like, I think it's going to be Cate Blanchett. It just seems like it. But dude, if Michelle Yeoh wins, like more props to her, you know, because I think, like you said, she does a great job in the movie.
And we have to bring up there's also a lot of other people in this with Best Supporting Actor, Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Just a beautiful man. I love that he's back, and I love that so many people were reintroduced to Short Round through Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I can tell you the stages that most people had when they watched it. They started watching, they're like, oh, well, that guy's is that really how he talks? Is that his voice? Like, that's his, oh, okay. And then he starts fighting. You're like, oh, he's badass. Oh, he can kick a lot of butt. This is cool.
Yeah.
Then he puts on the suit and you're like, I want to have sex with that. He's very attractive. He's handsome. This is great.
Yeah.
And then at the end you go, that was Short Round. Changes the whole thing.
Yeah,
I love him.
I saw a video on I think it was Twitter. You know the slow motion camera that's like all those events,
right?
Have them turn around. He was part of that. But like the way he did it, his hands pushed in, and like, it was like perfect framing. Dude, that's
nice.
That's a cool moment for him.
Oh, he's a beautiful man. I'm so excited that he's going to be in Loki season 2. And the story is that Kevin Feige actually went to him personally and asked to be in it. Which gotta love that. Gotta love that he really didn't think that imagine if after like 12 or 14 years old that you think that's the point where you've hit your highest.
Yeah.
How do you live your life like that? And then to come back like this. Oh, it's such a good comeback story. I love it so much. Him and Brendan Fraser just builds me up, man. Best Supporting Actress, Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Definitely deserved, but I do have to mention this was such a strong contender for a lot of people. Jessie Buckley in Women Talking, absolutely incredible. Like, the best performance in that film. Carrie Condon in Banshees, she's the heart of the whole film.
Yeah.
Like her story arc in that is so heartbreaking and beautiful. Jamie Lee Curtis. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is the one where it's like, you were great. You were great, Jamie Lee Curtis. But there are some people in here that are just like, that just maybe the roles were more serious, and that's where I'm thinking it. But Stephanie Sue, if you were going between Everything Everywhere, who would win? I would go with Stephanie Sue, because that performance as the daughter is really, and it was probably one of her. Is it a breakout performance? Is it one of her first? It might be one of her first. I'm not going to say first because I don't know that for sure, but
No, it
she
is
was
not.
incredible. And Janelle Monáe in Glass Onion. Did you watch Glass Onion?
I did watch Glass Onion. Yeah,
She was great in that.
she was. It's because of all the actresses listed, there's only 2 movies I have not seen, which is Black Panther and Woman Talking. So
okay.
I can't really base my opinion off those, but I thought it would be Stephanie Sue just because.
Wait, did you just say you haven't seen Black Panther?
I know.
Ugh.
What's your sound effect? It's a very corrupt moment, I know.
Man, I asked you, like, have you seen so many things before you came on? That's the one that, like,
Black
of
Panther
course
I
he's
have
seen
not
this
seen.
one.
No.
Of course.
I'm waiting for it to hit Disney Plus, man. February 1st, baby.
Why?
Honestly, I have no interest in seeing
That is not
movies in the theater that much. No.
You should have
in
said
the
something.
theaters.
Ugh.
In the theaters. I didn't watch Glass Onion when it came out in theaters. I haven't watched.
Now there's comments. Look what you've done.
Is there comments?
Yep. Oh, awesome, Marjorie. We'll talk about Last of Us soon. But yeah, we can give a face react to it.
But no, I thought it would be Stephanie Sue of everybody listed. But granted, I have not seen those 2 movies, so it's kind of biased in that regard.
I got to move past it. Or else
That's
I'm not
fine.
going to be able to get out of it. Best Young Actor and Actress, Gabrielle LaBelle for The Fabelmans.
I have not seen it. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I've seen. How funny would it be if I told you no, that I haven't seen these films that I voted on?
I already got shit for not seeing that one because it's about Steven Spielberg. I'm just like,
it is
in theaters. I haven't seen it. I have not gone to theaters.
It's such a personal film. It's really good. It's really good.
The last movie I saw in the theaters was Halloween Ends, just to give you an idea.
Yikes! You didn't even see Avatar?
Nope, I haven't seen Avatar yet. Honestly, that is a movie I have no interest in seeing. Period. I have complete confidence in saying that.
Alrighty. Best acting ensemble, Glass Onion, deserved. Best directors, in this case, the Daniels for Everything Everywhere. Original screenplay, of course, back to them. Adapted screenplay, Women Talking, which I agree with that because I challenge any of you to try to read that book and tell me that it is just as good as the movie, because that book is a snooze and a half.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Wait, hold on. Why is A Knives Out Mystery part of the adapted? Is that adapted?
In a sense, like Agatha Christie type whodunit stuff.
Okay.
There's I don't know the minutiae for that one specifically, but
okay. Because of that, I thought it'd probably be The Well, just because I know it's based off a play.
Right.
I've never heard Woman Talking, so.
Cinematography, surprise, surprise. Top Gun Maverick took the prize, and I'm very excited for that. You saw that in the theater, hadn't you? You had
Nope.
why did I bring you in? Do you like movies?
I watched it on my TV, and then right as the opening sequence, like when he's like flying over the shed and like it blows off the thing, I was watching it in my living room, and I'm like, why did I not see this?
Good, kick yourself. Yeah,
I did. That's one movie I regret not seeing in the theater.
Yeah, cinematography tells you right there it should have. However, I mean, I really wanted to have in this one there's so many that I voted in. This one I feel like Top Gun did take the prize, but I don't know. I think Everything Everywhere could have run for its money in that. Tar was really, really visually stunning though. Best production design went to Babylon. Babylon's crazy, dude. You watch Babylon?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I like
it's
nuts.
Movies. It is nuts, and it's too long. Best editing, Everything Everywhere All at Once. You said that you love that.
Very deserved, yeah.
Costume design, Ruthie Carter. This is one that everybody kind of already assumed was going to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, because just the costume designs are incredible. Hair and makeup, Elvis. I was actually thinking that it was going to go to The Whale in this case, but that's cool. Elvis had incredible costume design.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Of Elvis?
Yeah.
I liked Elvis, man. I think Baz Luhrmann's a really visual director. You just got to go with the journey. Sometimes it's very chaotic, and other times it's very slow, but it's all part of his style. So take it or leave it.
Right.
I think Austin Butler as Elvis, even hearing him talk, all I can hear is Elvis now, which is really weird. And it's unfortunate that Elvis's daughter passed away recently too. Like
2 days after, 2 days
Yeah.
after his acceptance speech, telling her
Yeah.
how thankful he was for working with him and stuff. And then there was again on these actors roundtables, the variety ones. They're really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
There's a full one with all of the best actors and stuff, and like Brendan and Key and Adam Sandler and everybody was all there, and they were talking about Austin was specifically talking about after he had screened the film for the first time with them, and how she had basically said thank you and then grabbed him by the hand and took him upstairs into Elvis's bedroom, and they sat on his bed and talked about the film. Like, how surreal is that? That's crazy.
Yeah, and even on his Instagram, he said, I'll cherish all of our conversations. I'm just like, it's cool. Like a lot of private conversations that will never become public. That's like, it's really cool, that connection that film had. So
that's
good
true.
Good for Elvis, man.
Visual effects here was Avatar: The Way of Water. No surprise there. We kind of already knew that was coming. Best comedy, except I don't think that it's the best visual effects, and I'm not going to explain further.
I want you to explain
Best
this.
comedy, Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery won, which is kind of a surprise. Triangle of Sadness is one of the funniest things ever this year. It was so good. Woody Harrelson, not in it that much, but when he's in it, his impact. And there's some incredible performances in that one. Have you seen Triangle?
I have not. That's on my list though. That's one of those indie films that you kind of have to seek for.
And the animated feature, you've seen Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, right?
I did not like it.
You did? Oh my gosh. No, Chaz. I can't keep pressing buttons.
I thought it was too dark. Like
too dark,
dude. I watched it. I'm like,
are you really gonna play that card?
No, dude. I'm like, this is a kids movie. Like, holy fuck!
It is not a kids movie. That's the point.
It's PG, man. It's PG.
Yeah. What was PG back in the 60s? Was that a kids film?
You can't compare the two, man.
Yes, I can. Watch me.
Pinocchio is a
children's
movie through and through, and
it's a dark film because it's a dark story. They chose to take it that way.
Right, I was expecting that, and so like going that far and like seeing all of his points, which I agree with like how he did it, but just like I'm like, I don't feel good after watching Pinocchio. It's not a feel good movie.
I cried in the end. It was, and you know what? I'm sorry that a film about a wooden boy that comes to life after his father's real kid dies was not very happy in the end for you.
It's everything to do with like the fascism and all this stuff, dude. Like in the war, like I mean, it's very relevant. It was relevant, and I'm like, it's so on the nose. And
it flips the dynamic of Pinocchio being all about obedience. Now it's all about disobedience and what you need to do. Like it's about fathers and sons. It's about mistakes. It's about making up for them.
For me, this is one of Del Toro's weakest films, though.
Oh, dude, this is one of his strongest.
I admired the style. He's a great director and all that.
No,
but just for me,
you're
it is
dead
not
wrong.
my Del
So who
Toro
would you
movie.
have gone for in this? I'm talking over you because I can't take this.
In animation?
If you say Marcel the Shell, I'm hanging up.
I have not even seen Marcel the Shell. That's only watched.
Good.
What?
Because I get nightmares because everybody keeps trying to fight me and say that Pinocchio and Marcel are the same. I'm sorry, they're not the same. One's a good movie.
What were the options for it? Oh, it's animated series? Nope.
No, it's animated series. So it was Puss in Boots, Last Wish. Very good, actually. Wendell and Wild, Turning Red, Marcel the Shell, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Pinocchio wins.
I'd say Turning Red, dude.
Film.
Turning Red is more of a family film than Pinocchio.
Nah.
I had fun with Turning Red.
That one person in the chat, will you please light this guy up? It's time to take him to church.
Bro.
The church that gets the bomb dropped on it.
Here's the thing, dude. I was like watching it, I wasn't expecting the Toro's thing to be that, and like all the religious, symbolism throughout. I'm just like, dude, this is like, it's marketed as a kid movie. There's nothing kid about it.
It wasn't though. Where was it marketed as a kids movie?
Bro.
The one thing, and I'm sorry I'm pulling this card out. I'm sorry. But the one thing that Guillermo had told all of us when we were sitting in a hotel room speaking to him about this film is that he didn't want people to think it's a kid's movie.
Here
That's
it is.
one thing he didn't want.
Although it's marketed as a family movie, this movie is not suitable for younger children. Recommend parental guidance for children age 8 to 9. These are the main messages from Pinocchio. What you look like on the outside doesn't matter. Who you are in the heart defines you.
I think in the end, this was marketed maybe the way The Drive was marketed, where it wasn't a complete lie about what the film was. People went in with expectations and they got disappointed themselves for it. But at the end of the day, the man, Netflix marketing had nothing to do with him, you know, and how they marketed the film. He made a film that was a adult, true to the characters film that had deep, dark roots. And I don't know.
I'm just reading all these interviews now where he says it's not a kid's movie. I thought it was a kid's movie. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected, I guess, you know.
Well, here's the thing. And if anybody's watching this, it's in the Utah Film Critics Association. I apologize. And I just wanted to let you know I love all of you and I don't have any ill wishes towards you. But you were wrong with the animation thing. You were so wrong.
Shell.
Yes, because the number one thing, well, first they were saying that it was slow in the middle, and I disagree with that. And then they said that it was too scary, not for kids. Yeah. And I was like, that doesn't make a movie bad. That just means you reacted that way to a movie, and it probably was the right intentions for what the film was. Marcel, nothing. I could Marcel's
from the opening scene, it felt like Del Toro was holding up a mirror and saying, "Oh, look at a reflection of yourself." You know, like put yourself in this scenario and just realize how real this could be. And it is. Like I said, it feels relevant with all the politics going on, right? Like it's not a happy, like better looking future film. It's very much a social commentary.
Let's be honest.
So many things.
Let's be honest. Guillermo del Toro and dictatorships, like name a better combination. He's always bringing that in. Like,
yeah, but all of his other movies are.
Nah, they're all. This is so like him.
It's like him taking Dumbo. It's like him being like, "Fuck Tim Burton's version of Dumbo. I'm gonna take Dumbo and make it like about
Tim Burton's Dumbo is the worst."
You know, like he's gonna be like, "Oh, you thought you liked Dumbo as a kid? Watch this elephant get fucking whipped, you know, by Nazis."
Hey! Watch your language,
bro.
This is a family show. Watch your language. We got higher standards than that. This isn't Gaggle of Geeks. All right, well, let's move on. Best foreign language film, RRR, woohoo! That's for me and you. And the best song, nah, do not.
I will never forget
music ever.
I didn't even watch the beginning of that movie. Like you were like 30 minutes into it or something like that. You're like, sit down, we're watching this.
Yeah, and the minute that dance started, I was like, I gotta stop this right now because oh man,
that's a fun movie.
It's an amazing movie. They did so good. And that dance, name another dance in films this year that was so integral to the story and actually like worked, enhanced, made everything better.
Are there any musicals released? I haven't. Elvis.
Yeah, of course. Spirited. There's all kinds of ones. Spirited just came out.
I haven't seen Spirited. I don't know what that is.
It's the one with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. You have the blessing of not having to watch everything every week. Everything everywhere all at once, I guess you could probably say too.
Like for you, huh?
It does. This week is Sundance, dude, and I'm not even done with this stuff. Best score went to Tar. That made a lot of people kind of turn their head because Tar doesn't really have a very defined score. Like it's not hitting you over the head. And a lot of people kind of were asking, like, does this movie even have a score? Because I can't remember if it did or not. Right. I'm just very disappointed that Michael Giacchino has not gotten any love for the Batman, and he needs to, because
the Batman is on my playlist daily.
I listen to Highway to the Anger Zone like all the time, and I know Utah just got rated #1 most angry drivers on the freeway, but that wasn't part of the reason. Okay, that was because of Batman, and I loved it. I feel bad that he hasn't gotten anything. So for the Patrick Beatty Reviews Awards, I'm giving best score to Michael Giacchino for the Batman. Congrats.
I agree with that one.
Sir, you did an incredible job. Let's move over to drama. Best drama series, Better Call Saul, which was very exciting for me. They got snubbed in Golden Globes again. They've been nominated so many times for so many years, and they never got anything. And for them to get this made me very happy. But there's a lot of other ones that were up for it that would have worked well. House of the Dragon, which won the Golden Globes, surprised everybody, including some of the people on stage that maybe were overserved and decided to bite their hands while they were doing the award. It was funny. I love those moments. I think they're great. It shows that they're human and that they're fun. Best drama series, Andor was up for it as well. The Crown, Euphoria, Severance, and Yellowstone. Severance, I was thinking could make it, honestly. Andor, I think had not enough people had watched it, sadly, and they needed to, because Andor was the best Star Wars that came out this year, and I'm including Obi-Wan, which surprises me even.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Fight the Empire. Best actor in a drama series, Bob Odenkirk, amazing. Best actress went to Zendaya.
It is deserved. I would have liked to see.
I haven't watched Euphoria yet.
It's a chaotic show, man.
And to be fair, I did not vote in any of these TV things. Just want to make that clear. I voted for films.
Yeah. No, Euphoria is it's kind of chaotic, but I mean Zendaya is a great actress and she does a good job on the show for sure. But personally, I would have liked to see Better Call Saul on that as well.
Yeah, Ray Seahorn is pretty amazing. Yeah. Like, I got to ask her about the ending the week before the ending at the HCA TV Awards. After the night that Better Call Saul was winning, I of course was running to the table and talking to them, and I was talking to Ray Seahorn, and I was like, "Okay, how much is the ending gonna mess me up?" And she's like, "Real bad," and then walked away. I was like, "Oh, so cool." I met Michael Mando. I met who's the guy? Patrick. His last name. You know who I'm talking about.
The guy who the other attorney in the show, right?
Yeah, the one that we all were very sad when he died. It's like, no, he didn't do anything.
What a tragic ending, man.
Oh, and I had to. I was telling him, I was like, because it was the week after, like a couple weeks after that. I was like, your performance was incredible. Like, well done. So yeah. I'm very happy the Better Call Saul was winning so many things. Giancarlo Esposito winning for Better Call Saul for Best Supporting Actor. Best Supporting Actress went to Jennifer Coolidge, which she was getting tons of stage time. I don't know who she paid during the Golden Globes to not be played off and be able to just sit there and talk for 15 minutes. But it's Jennifer Coolidge. You gotta let her
play
talk.
the music during her speech. Like,
I know, but like Michelle Yeoh had to threaten to fight people to to like keep talking. For Jennifer Coolidge, she's like, "Oh yeah, hi."
I think they should just do
so
it with the
cool
music
to be
stuff,
here,
honestly, dude.
But yeah, definitely deserved for Jennifer Coolidge. I think she's just one of those actresses that, like, anytime she shows up to anything, you want to be around her and see what she's doing.
Yeah.
Best comedy series went to Abbott Elementary. Yes. Have you watched Abbott?
I watched the first episode. I could not get into it, unfortunately.
Abbott is very good. I thought
what I hear.
Yeah, it was very good. Very well deserved. Best actor in a comedy series. I
probably hope for Hacks or Barry, or The Bear. The Bear's really good too, though.
Leading into Jeremy Allen White winning Best Actor for The Bear. Absolutely deserved. Loved him in it. Can't wait for season 2.
Yeah.
Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Jean Smart for Hacks. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, Henry Winkler Barry. Supporting Actress, Sheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary. There's a lot that we can go through. Oh, well, we have to talk about these last two, actually. Best Movie Made for Television. Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. Woo! Come on, give it up, man.
I don't like it.
Shut up. I'm going. That's the end of the show, people. You can't do this. No, you know what? I'm not even going to let you talk about this one because you did like it. You did.
I do not like it.
You're a jerk. No, Daniel Radcliffe deserved the win, and boy, did Weird Al deserve it. Eric Appel, you directed, and one of the funniest biopics or true to life stories I've ever seen in my life.
Is that a biopic,
the
dude?
True story of Weird Al Yankovic.
There's something true about it.
True story about Madonna.
Oh, God.
And why her crimes still have not. The families need answers, Chaz. That's what's the truth. The families need closure, and they need answers for what the cartel and Madonna had, when she took over Pablo Escobar's cartel, which we all know is true from the Weird Al Yankovic true story. And Daniel Radcliffe winning was amazing. Paul Walter Hauser winning for Blackbird. I don't know. There's just, that's pretty much everybody. Best comedy special. I'll mention Norm Macdonald because R.I.P. I actually, weirdly enough, this whole week I was watching a lot of Norm Macdonald stuff, like just going through interviews and stuff. He's one of the biggest disruptors for any late night shows interviews. Like he just came in and ruined them, and like in a way that was only he could do. Like nobody else could steer a show into chaos the way that he could. And there's a great clip that it was on Conan, and he was doing an interview with somebody about I can't remember who the person is, but they were moving into a different movie with Carrot Top starring, and he was like, "You left this to go do a movie with Carrot Top?" Just like kept slamming in on how bad that is, and like is the worst thing that you could have done. Like you ruined your career. He's like, you know what I call a film that has Carrot Top in it? Box office poison. Just started.
Carrot Top picked on me once.
Oh yeah,
on a cruise ship. He was a comedian on a cruise ship.
Why was he on a cruise ship? Didn't he have a Vegas show?
I don't know. It was on a cruise ship. But I was underage. Like I was like 17, 16 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't supposed to be in there, right? But sitting in the front row, because I'm like, oh, I'm taller. I could look older.
Well, that's why he called you out.
He called me out and he's like, what's your favorite Power Ranger? Like trying to like degrade me. And I was like, Black Power Ranger. And he's like, black? You're not supposed to answer that, motherfucker. And that was the story of Carrot Top picking on me.
How many F-bombs have you put in here? My
Sorry.
goodness.
Mother bleeper.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry he verbally accosted you, but in all fairness, he probably saw you were a kid and was like, all right, let's mess with this kid a little bit that shouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
Make him sweat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all the Critics' Choice stuff. We can move out of this and into something that I can jump in on as far as just vomiting about. And that is Velma is Terrible. And we should all feel bad. We should all feel so bad about this film, this show, this whatever. Who greenlit this? Who thought this was a good idea? Well, Mindy Kaling first. And let's start by saying this is going to be a minefield to tiptoe around because of the way the show is built. It's built to be a dissection of itself, like just destroying every single character, every single thing that was Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Gang, and turning it into some weird like Harley Quinn Scooby-Doo thing that just doesn't work at all. Has some of the worst jokes I've heard this entire year, like Razzie Award winning bad jokes.
Do you blame Harley Quinn for allowing this to possibly be greenlit?
I don't know if
because for me, I don't like Harley Quinn either. I think it's very much.
No, that's not what I said, sir. I did not say that. I love Harley Quinn.
I know that, but you mentioned it, and for me, I'm like, I think Harley Quinn paved the way because I view this in the same light I view Harley Quinn. I don't like Harley Quinn. I don't like the show.
It's very different.
To me, they're both
here's why I think it's different, because I don't know what the rule is, right? But you have established IP. You're established intellectual property. Here's you wanting to make the journey to making new IP with it, right? If you're gonna go down that road, you have certain thresholds you have to cross. It has to pay respect to the original to a certain degree. Then you can start to alter things. But if you don't pay respect to the beginning of it, it's not gonna work. Harley Quinn, they undermined and they totally messed with the formula for everything, but they still paid respect to the characters, the true to the character form of what these characters actually are. Like there's silliness with it, but at the same time, that's kind of what Batman is. That's kind of what Robin is. With this, these characters don't exist anymore. Speaking of which, where's the dog? Oh, whoops, I shouldn't hit stuff. Where is the dog? Where's Scooby-Doo?
Not in the show.
Shaggy isn't even called Shaggy in this. What is he called? Hold on.
I don't know, dude. This show's
Well,
just whack.
if you're gonna get it wrong, you got to get it wrong. If you're gonna attack it, you got to attack it right, I suppose. And which makes me so sad because let me read off the wonderful actors that are involved in this and really just scold them a little bit about why they're doing it. So Mindy Kaling, Velma, she is one of the best comedy writers in television history because of The Office and what she was able to do with that. Her specific episodes are some of the best episodes ever done with The Office that endlessly memed now. She deserves her stars and she deserves her credit and she deserves to be trashed for this because this was not good. Glenn Howerton played Fred. Glenn Howerton is amazing in It's Always Sunny. I love him as Dennis. He would have been a great Fred in this case. But he, again, didn't work. Sam Richardson as Norville. And that is the name of Shaggy. Norville. Norville, Chaz.
I know. You told me to watch this, and I thought it was gonna be good. You didn't say anything about it, and I turned it on within the first 5 minutes. I'm like, does Patrick like this?
No, I want to.
I was relieved to know you do not.
Because I want to have this be a story, a tale of two IPs, right?
Right.
Both went onto the same streaming service on the same week and did vastly different things with their source material. And to see the responses between the two, I found very fascinating because it's the same situation kind of where they had an uphill battle that they had to work through and Velma just crashed and burned. But the one that we'll talk about later might have rose to the occasion. Now we saw only 2 episodes for Velma. They're going to keep going. There's a whole, story behind it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of other characters that'll show up. There's Weird Al is in this, funny enough. Man, why? Weird Al, come on. Jane Lynch is in it, Constance Wu. I love Sam Richardson, Nicole Byer. I love so much. All these performances. What did they do? Why did they write it like this? Why was the first 5 minutes almost predatory by showing animated, high school, middle school girls in showers and stuff? Like, what? Who thought that was okay? While they're doing that, making the stupid kind of fourth wall joker. Every single time a show starts in HBO, they're gonna have some graphic nudity. Makes no sense to the story, and then they just cut away and they don't do any. Oh no, they don't. They cut to 2 cockroaches having sex, and then they cut away.
That's weird.
It's the worst. It's why have I not pressed? I should be pressing all of these buttons. Where's my buttons? And I got to make sure that they're not the swear ones, but they probably will be. I'm sorry.
According to Wikipedia, it has like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't know how it has that high.
I believe it's got an 8% audience score.
Good.
So that tells you a lot. I think the people that like this don't like comedy. Weirdly enough, like it's the people that don't understand comedy and don't understand jokes. Instead, they're like, oh, they said me too. Good one. No, it has to be more than that. It has to be, I don't know. It's got to be a little bit more.
How do you get a job here?
This is an origin story, correct?
Yeah, this is an origin story of how the group came together. So maybe there was like Scooby-Doo later down the road. I can't say that
Fred gets shot in the knees in the first episode.
Maybe. I know Fred takes out somebody's leg with paper cutter. He throws it like a boomerang across the hall and it slices off somebody's leg completely. Norville has a micro penis. Like, there's just so many weird things. Like, what are you doing in this show? This is a kid show. This is supposed to be a kid show.
No.
If we're gonna go that route,
no,
like
dude,
Scooby-Doo.
Say Harley Quinn's supposed to be in.
No. I'm saying Scooby-Doo is a kid show. So
is Batman.
But Batman was always a little dark.
Yeah, but
Batman
not fucking Harley Quinn dark.
dark.
Sorry, language, but not Harley Quinn dark.
But no, just as dark as Harley Quinn. And Harley Quinn isn't even that dark. Like Harley Quinn, if anything, is pretty mild comparatively to the animated series. Those are some dark themes in those. You don't think so? Dude, Kite Man is not more dramatic than Heart of Ice.
I know. I'm just...
That's what I'm saying. But you don't have to like Harley Quinn to trash on Velma, because I just think Velma is one of the worst series that come out this year. And to start so horribly wrong in 2023 with this makes me sad. And the thing is, here's what's going to bug me. This is going to get the same thing happens on 90 Day Fiance. They have a character, they have someone that comes in and everybody hates. And like it turns out they're actually like genuinely doing bad things and it's not good. And guess what? Because we've hated them so hard, then the producers put him on for another season. And then they put him on for another season. And I think that enough hate watching for Velma made greenlight a season 2 by accident, a la akin to Morbius and Sony when they put it back into the theaters. And we're all going to get punished for that joke. And I don't want, look, we all know the answers now. We know the answers. Do not watch an episode 3 of Velma. I'm just saying right now, if you don't want to see content like this, if you want people to take, time in crafting jokes, making characters that feel real, that actually work, they don't even have to feel real. Just make the jokes funny. If the jokes are funny, then I don't know. Man, they already greenlit season. Are we for sure that they've greenlit a season 2? Is that like a for sure Variety reporting or something? Or is it, because we got the comicbook.com people that do stuff, or like Now Watch This, that kind of say whatever. And I don't want to believe it right now. So maybe that's true, and I'm not ready to believe it.
I don't know, dude, because I feel like, I know this is HBO, but like, I mean, if you look at Netflix, if you do watch a show that you really like, they cancel it.
Except for Big Mouth, which, funny enough, that's an animated show that's long extended its welcome. And that could be a very similar thing with Velma. Velma is terrible, and we should all feel bad.
That's fair.
Moving on to the next one. Let's talk about a show that might have actually turned the tides for the video game adaptation curse. That is The Last of Us.
Might have, dude. That's an understatement.
I think it's an overstatement to say that it's going to be. I mean, like, here's the thing. It's a low threshold to cross, first of all, to be a good adaptation, right? Because there's not been many good adaptations of games to films except Sonic, Detective Pikachu, small things like that. But and I guess you could say the first season of The Witcher. A lot of people said that they liked that. But with this, we've only seen one episode, and I loved the episode, and it did really good, like showing everything that we've seen from that first intro of the game. People that have watched the game, played the game, know the intro, saw that, and were like, "This is done justice." And I did not think that could be adapted. Like many people have said, I don't think that this could have been adapted as well as it did so far. But we've only gotten they haven't gotten anywhere so far. We got the setup, we got everything built up. Now we got to see if they can pay off and deliver it. But they set up a promise. We need to see if their promise will come through.
I know, but they delivered it. Like, that's like 3 hours of gameplay that they covered in an hour and a half of a TV show.
Yes, and there's a little bit more too, because they did some backstory. They went back a little bit back in 2003 and built up the relationship more with the daughter.
I mean, they did like sort of in the game too, though. I mean,
a little more in this though. I'm giving it a compliment. I'm complimenting.
I know, but I know. I'm just saying it's not like that's not like the groundbreaking thing. I don't know.
So it's not groundbreaking, but you're saying that it completely destroyed the video game adaptation after one episode.
Yes, it did.
Pick your lane, Chaz.
This is like an automatic
highway to the anger zone.
This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Well, that's great. Hey, 10 out of 10.
But I only say that though because Craig Mazin, who also was in charge of Chernobyl, which is a very good show in its own too. He's at the helm of this.
Oh, and you totally feel Chernobyl with this.
They're also working with the Naughty Dog creatives, like the game creator, and they also brought back the original composer. So it's like it's not like all new hands working it. It's everybody, like Hollywood and gaming together to make something as good as this. And a lot of people were having their doubts.
That goes horribly wrong, like the Halo series.
I like the Halo series.
I think you might be the only one, and I don't even have a dog in that fight.
Dude,
but
some people are just upset by his helmet being taken off in the first episode. I'm like, he takes it off in the books. If you read the books, he takes it off. I don't know why people are freaking out.
You book guy. You Dune 2. You Dune 2 guy.
No, but like a lot of people had like weird casting. Like they kind of criticized the casting when it was first announced, right? But there were parts in the first episode where Pedro Pascal looked like the main character. Like he literally looked like him in the show. You know what I mean? Like it was just crazy. I'm like, this casting is like on point. I never thought it would be personally. Like I'm like, how is he going to portray
Joel, right?
Yeah, Joel. How's he going to portray Joel? Like because he's a very hard edged character in the game. He knocked it out of the park. Like. And the same
in
thing
in a believable way, because you see that introduction and you know what he's lost and you know he has nothing at this point. I will say the trope of a grumpy old guy taking care of a young kid to do something, it'll never get old for me. Like I'm from Logan to like I will always be down for it.
This will
It's a
get
good
better
trope.
than Logan though.
That's a tough one. I don't know. And especially because of the reception. Well, let me ask you this. Have you played all the games then?
Yeah.
Okay. So the second game was very controversial. How do you think they're going to be able to avoid the controversy?
Okay, what made it controversial was just a bunch of angry neckbeards who live in their mom's basements.
Right.
That's literally the only thing that made that game
also known as this show's fan base right now.
Sure.
Yeah, they're watching it. I mean,
sure.
It's not like they're like, we're out. Apparently, there's some people that are, but I don't know.
I don't know. As far as that goes, like, because I know this first season is supposed to cover the first game, right? And they said if the second season gets green light, that's cool. It's just going to cover the second season. And I hope they stop there. Personally, I hope they stop there because we don't want this to be another Walking Dead, where they just go on and on and on with zombies. Like, we don't need oversaturation of zombies. We need a good story that has zombies. You know what I mean?
What's interesting is it's tough for me to even consider these zombies because of how well they established that they're coming from. Well, we're already kind of spoiling stuff with fungus that's coming from like spores and mushrooms and things.
And it feels a lot more organic than what the zombie trope has been, right?
But it came from the ground up.
Yeah, but as far as like this,
well grounded.
The second season and the handling of the second season, like thematically, the second game is a lot darker than the first game, which is hard to do because the first game is pretty dark.
Right.
But there's so much character arcs in the second game that emphasize the arcs of the first game that I think it could be even more emotional and well developed than the first season if this one goes well.
Do you think it's going to be a season a game? Like the entire game story is going to be in this season and the entire second.
Why not do it that way? If you're going to do it the first season like this,
well, if you're HBO and you've just tried to do that with a certain series that ended in misery when it hit season 8 because they didn't have a foot plan, right? I would be a little bit apprehensive of just giving it all right now.
No, just give it all now because like if.
But we know a Last of Us 3 is coming.
No, there's not.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
You can't say that. That might be a spoiler. You can't say that.
I don't think Last of Us 3 is coming out, dude. Hold on. Before we.
No. You can't say that. I don't know anything about this. I didn't know. People, don't get mad at me. Hi, Jay.
Okay, they're making a Last of Us multiplayer game.
Oh well, there you go.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Well, how do you see it? Not. I mean, it could. Okay. Yeah, I can't say anything else because now I have questions that are going to spoil things.
No. What I'm saying though is like if the first season is supposed to be the first game alone, they have to do the second season as the second game. That's like Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings each individual film, right? Like each book was its own thing, like its own film. It wasn't like Hobbit Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
But he also took one book and had to make it 3 movies too.
The Hobbit. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would HBO do that?
Because
when you did it in the first season.
That's the most recent example of their behavior, though.
That's
the Hobbit is more
what not to do.
Sure, but at the same time, they're doing a lot of different stuff right now, and I think
Craig Mazin as a showrunner, I think he's smarter than that. Like if you listen to this podcast, the script notes,
Peter, whatever his name, the Discovery Plus guy, I don't know if he's very smart though. And if he does the same thing he does with 90 Day, expect a lot of bad.
Well, one's a reality TV show and the other one's not. So
I know I think he's gonna bring in some reality TV stuff into some things. That's what Warner Brothers felt like this whole year has been, just drama on a reality level, TV's level.
And aren't they like? I just read that they might have like the streaming rights to the Olympics. this
I
upcoming
don't know.
Olympics. And I'm like, well, if you do that, like I thought you guys almost filed for bankruptcy. Like,
Well,
how can you afford the Olympics?
it'd be surprising that you could afford the Olympics when you're selling off your seasons of original HBO content to
Yeah.
different places. I can't believe Westworld season 1 isn't available on it. That's so weird to me.
I don't think even Westworld is anymore. I think they took it off completely.
Yeah. And
personally, I
RIP
wanted a
season
Westworld
4.
season 5. Like I wanted a season
Or
5.
season 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted that, but like the way season 4 ended, I mean, I guess you could end it there, but
Right.
It's kind of on cliffhanger.
Maybe they'll put out a graphic novel, or you can start like a hashtag restore the Westworld verse or something.
But
And those people, Warner Brothers have made them very happy.
Plus, so have you played the first game though for The Last of Us at all?
Not all the way.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. There are side characters they could explore in seasons, right? But I feel like there's so much, especially with like the last night's episode being like an hour and a half. If these episodes are actually like that length, there's no reason for them to do a second season to explore these second characters. You get all that in flashbacks. Like if we saw a flashback, spoiler, we see a flashback with Joel before the virus, right? In the very opening of this show, who says the second episode can't start with a flashback with Ellie. Already introduced her side, because she does have like in the DLC, she does have another character she interacts with in the downloadable content. So if they want to include that, that's fine. Just do it in a flashback or something. Like don't make a whole season out of it for a different character. You know what I mean?
I guess. Well, I don't know enough because I haven't played the games, but I will say I agree with you. I'm fairly certain at this point. I think the video game curse has been broken for a minute now. Like, Sonic has been good for both of the films, and maybe it's not great, but that means the curse was broken then. Like, if you're defining the curse as there's been nothing but horrible video game adaptations, it has been solved. But
Tomb Raider.
have we talked about the next step, right? Marvel had their whole thing broken too with their stuff, right? Spider-Man comes out, suddenly the Avengers stuff that they were doing and the old Captain America, all that kid stuff got a little bit better, got a little more serious, and they could do more. X-Men did the same thing with Bryan Singer, and Batman with Tim Burton. Now this might be the first time that we're seeing video games are not a joke anymore. We're not talking about a kid's story doing silly things, and we're not talking about The Witcher going off and swording stuff and getting coins and things. This is real characters and a real ground, like a story about characters, and centered around that I think we haven't seen before on this level. So I'm excited to see where that takes us, because I do think that there's a chance that this could get awards, and yeah, lots of stuff. Oh, and Sam is up. By the way, we were just talking about a couple days ago the Last of Us and Critics' Choice and stuff. Sam, I'd love to know your thoughts. He was actually when we were in New York, he was watching it in the hotel. I was like, what? Him and KB. But man,
I guess I don't know if you could speak on this, but according to some critics on Twitter, they got the full season already.
Oh yeah. There's a few that have gotten full season. I am not one of those, but I've sent requests.
Well, and that's so like after like last night's viewing too, I was so hyped up like how it ended. I'm like, I need to know what happens in the second episode. And I thought they were gonna release it like 2 episodes, like a 2-episode premiere, kind of like Lord of the Rings or something, but nope, we're back to our weekly schedule. And I felt kind of defeated knowing that, but I'm also kind of appreciative because it lets, like right now I'm still ruminating on how last night's experience felt.
Right.
Seeing it. And like I told you, I'm really tempted to rewatch it again and just soak it in, and I want to replay the game.
It's so funny. I was watching Chernobyl too this week, the first episode, and just kind of like looking, I don't know, when I got COVID, I got all morbid, and like I've been telling my mom, like, when I die from the blood clot later, it's gonna be like, I've just been, I don't know, COVID sucks, man. It's no fun. And so I've been watching these self like quarantining and radioactive stuff shows, and I watched the Sick murder movie. You see that one?
I have not seen that one.
Oh yeah, it's Sick. It's on Peacock, and a lot of people have said that it's really amazing. I got about 30 minutes into it and I shut it off. I don't know if COVID brain took over and was like, this dumb, but I I didn't like it because I started questioning COVID protocol questions of stuff. And I was like, that makes no sense. They would have done this or all of
Dude,
that.
COVID brain sucks. Like the
Yeah.
brain fog, it sucks.
I think it'll. How have you recovered? Are you pretty much back to 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Occasionally though, it does feel like the brain fog comes back.
Really?
But I also wonder if it's like sleep deprivation, you know?
Well, yeah, it's tough
It's-
because I'm always sleep deprived and things, so it's kind of
Yeah,
always like.
But I mean, when I had COVID, I mean, dude, and like recovering from that too, I mean, it took a good few weeks to go back to normal.
Oh man, Kimberly, why'd you have to do that? All right, well, fine. Let's just say.
Breaking news. Velma 2 gets a green light.
Well, here's hoping that they pull a Batgirl and they make the full season and then they cut it for tax purposes. No,
Pull
they already
Batgirl
said that we won't do that anymore either.
I want to see the Batgirl, dude. I want to see that cut.
I want to know what it was. Show me that. If you showed us more Zack Snyder stuff, you can show any directors anything. Sorry. And you know what?
Wrong, though.
The Batgirl fans have not started hashtags. They've not tried to attack people.
No.
They seem to be patiently being like, if you want to send us some TikTok screenshots of stuff, we're cool to look at it. It's because we're older and we're mature.
Oh, I want to watch
That's
it,
not true.
Plus Fraser's in it, It's Firefly.
Fraser's in it. Keaton returns. Can't. And you get to watch it guilt-free without knowing that you have to pay money and give some of that to Ezra Miller. Right?
And they're still
Guilt-free.
They're still going forward.
They need to release it, and off of that, right there. Hey, are you questioning whether you should go see The Flash because our star might be kind of a crazy psycho that's attacking people and having guns around children? Well, I've got the film for you. We're bringing it back from the trash. Here you go. It's Batgirl. And Jay, I remember when we went to the Warner Brothers studio tour, and it was a couple weeks after the news had come out, or a week actually after the news had came out that they had scrapped it. And when we were with the tour guide on the golf cart going to different areas, she started like listing off stuff for people to cheer for, like in the back. They're like, hey, so who likes Gilmore Girls? And we're going, woo! And they're like, who likes Friends? Woo! And I was sitting next to her. I went, who likes Batgirl? And she was like, ooh, too soon. But she was in for it. She was like, that was a good joke. I get that.
Yeah, I hope Warner Brothers doesn't screw up The Last of Us, obviously.
I don't think they will. It's already done. They did the full thing, If they were like, all right, we did the first episode, now we'll do the rest. Maybe there was.
I saw some of the criticisms being like the set design is like too much like the game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want from it? It's an
I love that.
dude.
I love that it was so immersive and felt like
there were some shots where I'm like, is this like, it looks like it's part of the game almost, like some like the way it's framed and stuff. Like, I think that's cool.
I agree. I think they have a lot to cover with the show, and I'm excited to see how they continue to differentiate it from the many other zombie shows that we've had. I think already they've done a couple things that to me are like, okay, no, I can definitively say the difference between the two. But yeah, I think that about wraps up. They shelf stuff all the time, Kimberly says. Not always real intellect. It's actually financially driven. Yep. It's so frustrating. But and it's frustrating when it's so public, Kimberly, when like everybody is superhero films, they are under wraps when they have to do the special effects and they go into their warehouse and their big set and stuff. But this one was doing a lot of public shoots. People were getting excited for it. We got to see some of the costumes, and there's a little bit of hesitation for that. But we were all kind of like, still though, I'm excited that we're getting new content. We're getting more things, and that they were starting to build this. And The Rock was going to change the power dynamic of stuff. Henry Cavill kept teasing stuff, and things were in a weird time for DC. And now we're just sitting kind of waiting to see what James Gunn gives us next.
Did you notice how The Rock went super quiet after James Gunn was announced?
Did you kind of like his movie?
Well, I That's one I
Seriously.
waited for the streaming service as well.
No, that I tried watching it on the streaming service. I was like, what is this? Get out of here. The movie itself, even how many times are going to see that skateboarding kid go around? Like that kid had more screen time than the villain in the movie. That's actually true. That's 100% true. The villain did not have as much screen time as that skateboarding kid. So weird. But Henry Cavill coming back. Oh, that was all. We had a lot that we've been gone for a while, man. We've been gone. Touch my yellow hands. I don't know why they're so yellow. It's because of the light. I don't have jaundice. It's just
yeah. I was gonna say COVID's not blood clot, just liver failure.
it's not. No, my hands would be purple, like the tips and stuff. Those look good. The one thing though, here I'll get real close. My nose is like old Manny. It's got all these weird red dots on it. I don't know if I like rubbed it the wrong way or but thank you everybody for letting me put my face right. We got a laugh emoji on that one. That was great. I think that's all. I think I feel great after that. Just close the whole thing.
No, I'm just glad that you're feeling better, man.
Me too. Oh, and before we go, the last thing that I do want to promote, because it's happening, Sundance, which is coming starting Thursday, Friday. And it's actually kind of already started for me. I've got a couple screeners, but I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, tons of screeners. And I get the fun pass. So I get to go to some of these premieres. After doing the red carpets, I get to go in and watch the movie, which is great. And I'm going to be doing some great coverage for ABC4 too. So Thursday, Friday, I'll be doing a couple packages. Saturday, I'm going to be live at a filmmaker's lounge at a restaurant talking with filmmaking creatives, people that are in the festival about their work and what they're doing and how amazing it is. It's very exciting. And
it's exciting.
I haven't been physically at a Sundance since 2020, which is kind of hilarious, seeing as I'm coming there post-COVID, and 2020 is when COVID started.
Did their protocols change at all for the cracking strain of COVID?
Probably, I don't know. They probably have like testing and stuff like that, maybe. But it's also, does it feel like things have gotten stricter lately, Chaz? It hasn't to me, sadly.
Oh, it has not.
No, so it's up to you. You're left with your own devices.
I went to a appointment, a chiropractor today, and they required masks. And I'm like, this is the first spot I've been in months that's required masks.
Well, I can tell you what, I'm not messing around anymore. I wasn't messing around to begin with. I don't know how I got this. Nobody anywhere around me had it. No one at work had it. Nobody. I must have gotten it at Home Depot. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is like going to Home Depot or interacting with. Yeah. So, lots of movies. There's so many films that are coming out, and I will break down all of those in the coming days leading up to the festival. I want to thank the people that have been here contributing to it. Kimberly, Jay, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you being here. Sam, thank you for joining in. And yeah, Chaz, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I am sorry for my swearing.
Yeah, well, you should be, sir. That was our one rule that we set for ourselves. Don't go back and watch our Gaggly Geeks backlog. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. We'll see you at the next review.